TYT Sports, Denise, Brett. LeBron James, is he as good as Michael Jordan? Of course that's gonna come up, especially in the wake of his jillionth finals in a row. And here is one post on Reddit in the NBA subreddit discussion of the day, which is, LeBron James, 748 points in postseason was good enough for second behind Michael Jordan's 759 points in the 1992 playoffs. LeBron also attempted 71 fewer field goals while recording 71 more assists. Are you kidding me? 63 more rebounds and a higher true shooting percentage and effective field goal percentage than Michael Jordan. And then the source says, crazy you put up those kinds of numbers at 33. Seems Bron only needed the title season to make his most legitimate case. So he needed the title this season to make his most legitimate case for GOAT. Denise, is LeBron James better than Michael Jordan?
I mean, that's such a difficult question because there's so many elements that come with better. You know, like you have to take into account, like, obviously MVPs, championships, all-stars, rookies. It's just so much that comes with it. So like, it's not just a simple like, is LeBron better than Michael or is Michael better than LeBron? Now, we're just strictly speaking titles, no.
No.
And no one can disagree. Now, again, if we're only speaking titles, no one can disagree. Now, LeBron is in his 15th season. And
I thought you were gonna say LeBron is in his 50s, and it feels that way sometimes.
Not this season though.
It's just how long he's been around.
No, right. I agree. So he's in his 15th season, and we probably will never see a 15th season LeBron ever again. Like he played, and by that I mean he played with mediocre players.
Yes.
Mediocre players. He had to go hard every single game of the season, of the series, and even then, it still wasn't enough.
Of the playoffs where he went to like game 7, like, it's crazy, yes. When you say, okay, let's start here. When you say there are other ways to measure whether he's better or not, right. I would say, at least in this playoffs, that part where it's like he made 71 fewer field goals, still had the same amount of points. He attempted 71 fewer field goals, still had a comparable amount of points.
Right.
He had 71 more assists. That assists are a way I can judge it. 63 more rebounds, and that's where it is. It's like I've heard a lot of equivocations out there, like LeBron is the most complete player of all time, and that I think is like this weird way to say he's the GOAT without saying he's the GOAT because of things that jump obviously to mind when you see them. The fact that LeBron is a freight train that also corners like a sports car. That's what's so crazy. The longevity aspect of it, the same way people say that Jordan, after being like such a fierce, athletic scoring machine, developed that fadeaway jumper. You're seeing things like LeBron at 33 is playing every game of the year and and he's still passing it to people who probably shouldn't be passing it, but he has to pass it to people because that's like his sports IQ is at that level where he's like, I know that this is the only way we can succeed is if I distribute the way I am.
And it's true, and he has to distribute it. And if you go back and look at Kobe's detail, which he kind of like just put LeBron in this kind of weird umbrella or this weird shade, but he did prove one good point, and that point is you can't. One thing we do need to see from LeBron is we need to see just a little more leadership, because leadership isn't just, oh, here, I'll pass you the ball and count on you to do it. Like, there has to be something more that comes with it, you know, maybe inside the locker room, maybe within plays. And not to say that he's not already doing that, because you can see the leadership that he has when he has individual handshakes per player. He has, you know, the team dressed in like this the suits and uniform. And one thing, by the way, that he's also, just to add to your point, that he's neck and neck, or maybe even better at than Jordan, is all NBA teams. He's 14 NBA all NBA teams. Jordan only had 11. Now that for me, it's like the stats on honestly this series and this season just were phenomenal for LeBron. But to also be able to look back and see, okay, well, he didn't just have one great season. Like, LeBron has matured and aged very finely to the finest of wines. God knows what he's gonna be in a couple, you know, maybe 3 years.
I don't know where he's gonna be. That thing with Kobe saying essentially like, I don't care what your excuses are.
Right.
You gotta make your players better. I don't know how much I can hold LeBron responsible for it. And I think that is slightly different than like making your players feel good.
Right.
But you need look no further than friggin' the way Kobe Bryant has had relationships with people on his team.
Right. And by the way,
I personally would think I would be a better player with LeBron than I would with Kobe because Kobe's like got this weird, emotionless, tough love.
Well, he has those two personalities.
Yeah.
And to add to that, it's like Kobe's saying some really valid points, right?
He's
saying some valid points. But it's not like he was following this when he was in the league. It's not like his teammates were like, oh man, I can't wait to play with Kobe.
Right.
Like, oh man, I love playing with that guy. Like, no, like, and I'm a huge Kobe fan.
Me too.
Huge Kobe fan, but I could separate myself from that and recognize that, okay, Kobe, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. But you know how difficult it is to apply that when you're playing.
Well, look at how Kobe ended up winning his second round of championships. Not by figuring it out with the players he has, by threatening to leave Los Angeles so they bring in Pau Gasol.
Yeah.
Like that's what he did. He found new players, which he was able to stay in the same city.
Thankfully.
But he did essentially get a new team.
And he had his share of tantrums too, where it was just like, especially that game 7, was it like that game 7 where he didn't even shoot? Because game 6, they were like, he's just not bad. Because he was like, he had like 35 shot attempts or something like that.
Is that what it was?
35 shot attempts, or 35 shot attempts or 35 misses, somewhere along the lines where he was just shooting, not passing the ball enough, not rotating the ball enough. So game 6, he's getting all this like backlash, like, you know, man, Kobe, if Kobe would have passed the ball, if Kobe would have done this, Kobe would have done that. Kind of like LeBron would have done this, LeBron would have done that, then we would have been in a different place. So game 7 comes, and Kobe pulls the biggest tantrum of all and doesn't shoot. He doesn't shoot. You're just watching, you're like, come on, like, why didn't you shoot? Like, regardless.
It's like the sun not rising in the east.
Like, LeBron is gonna get this backlash, and he's gonna be constantly compared to Jordan, but it's just completely unfair because they're two different players, and the way that Jordan kind of like set up, you know, for me it was like he set up basketball and he set up what it was like. He put up all these like milestones, right? He hit all these milestones and he set the bar for a lot of these guys, and a lot of these guys watched his game. But what happens when you watch the greats play? You become better.
Yeah.
You become better. So it's not to say, I'm not saying that LeBron is better than Jordan, but he's still playing.
I am saying LeBron's better than Jordan. And they're right. It's not like Jordan's terrible.
No, it's not to say that.
I hate when people kind of imply that like if you say LeBron is better than Jordan, you say that Jordan's the worst player ever.
Yeah.
No, I'm just looking at it and I'm going with my gut here, and it's like he's got the edge.
Good point.
I'd rather watch, you know.
Good
I don't
point.
know. I haven't gone back and watched.
So you let us know what you think, who's better, if anyone. If you don't think that LeBron is better than Jordan, that's totally fine. Just let us know why people should stop comparing these two GOATs, and they could just both be GOATs together in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I think I did it all right?
Hell yeah. Bounce.